Hey y'all, it's Nana from Yessie and Nana. I'm here to talk about sorry, gonna roll up my windows. The second half of, my boy troubles. I don't know if that'll just be what this video is about, but whatever. So as you can tell, I'm sitting in my car. I just got off of work. So new location, what? During the week, a lot of my videos will be in my car, because, this is like the only place that I have privacy, because it's my baby. Anyway, so to get back into the mix, so the last video was about how my nickname came to be, and boys between kindergarten, I guess, through high school. So me and boys. So let's get the next would be college and work and all that. So let's see, 18, nothing. 19, nothing. 20, nada. Though when I was 20, almost 21, I did get a new job that wasn't retail. I'll do a whole couple videos about work. I started working at the same company with, 3 of my cousins, actually. Well, 2 of them were my cousins, and one was my oldest cousin's dude. They're not married or anything, but they've been together for a while, so I just call him their dude, because he's more than a baby daddy or a father of her children. They live together. They do everything like a married couple would do, except they're not married. Anyway, so I started working with them. My older cousin's dude was the manager, and then I worked with my younger cousin, and so we counted inventory for this company called RGIS. Shout out to those people that work there. Whoop whoop. I know the struggle. I mean, I know it varies from for every team, but Home Depot is a niche little thing when it comes to RGIS. So those are travel teams, and so I was part of the technically it's called the Southern California LA team. So I was part of that. I was part at the beginning. I did work. So there's 3 different carpools, and I was in my cousin's carpool because I was like, I don't know anybody. But then I came to the Orange County carpool once I got comfortable and everything. So I went there. Met a couple of people through that. They weren't all that great stories. So the first situation happened was with because I was part of my cousin's carpool, which is the Victorville carpool. Which is the high desert of California. We have mountains, and not all of them are cold. So I was part of the carpool, and there was a Lancaster Victorville carpool, because Lancaster was up there, but there was only a couple people, so it wasn't big enough to be its own. So they mixed with the Victorville because it had more people than the Lancaster one. At the time when I started, there's only 2 people from Lancaster, and everybody else from the carpool was from Victorville. So anyway, so the dude was the driver. We was like, come. They started out just hanging out or whatever. So we hung out and all that, because nobody really hung out with him. I don't know if stuff happened between people or whatever. I didn't get into that. I didn't ask questions. If you want to tell me, you can tell me. If not, whatever. They just, the certain carpools didn't fill other carpools, so it was whatever. Inner beef that didn't really mean anything. So, I don't know how long it was. It was a good, while. We were just hanging out and, started vibing and all that. We were interested, at least on the action side of my life. So I'm obsessed with, Fast and Furious, and he's part of a car thing. So if anybody who does know who this person is that I'm talking about that's watching these videos, yeah, anyway, you know exactly who I'm talking about. yeah, so he was part of, like, you know, a I don't know, car club, you would call it. They were actually on one of the first Fast and Furious, because they did it, you know, out here in California. Well, they did a lot of them in California, the house in LA, which I need to go visit, by the way. But they did it at, you know, there's an actual race wars at the location that they do. And so, like, you know, they invited car clubs to come and stuff like that. And one of the car clubs in the background is part of what the dude was, one of the clubs that the dude was the club that the dude was a part of. I'm sorry. I'm not editing an ad either. I told you, little to no editing. Anyway, so yeah, so he showed me it like a couple times, but it was whatever. So, you know, vibing and all that. We did, like, kind of, like, you know, hook up, you know, one time. It was a little scandalous hookup. We went to San Diego to help out. I believe that was the one time one of the times that I went down there. The Arizona team was doing it, and we went to help out at the store, because the San Diego stores are huge. Like, the Home Depots are ginormous. But anyway, it was me, his roommate, and him, like, in the room, like, we were hanging out, whatever. I usually hung out with him. And you know, his roommate had fallen asleep, you know, and, you know, I started off, you know, all like, you know, butt touching and all that. It was like, oh, look at that hanky-panky, look at that, look, hitting that. So, and then, like, it ended up escalating, you know, oh, something happened. But, you know, it didn't, you know, go all the way, one, because he didn't have condoms, and two, his roommate did wake up, like, halfway, like, he was, like, half sleep, like, but the half sleep where he don't know what's going on, and, like, you get up and, like, say something, and then you go back to sleep. Yeah, well, that happened. And so, like, after that, like, you know, kept on fooling around for a little while after that, but then we're, like, you know, like, they kind of, like, messed it up a little bit. So I went back to my room, and, you know, he, you know, said he, like, you know, took a shower and went to sleep. But the funny thing is, the next day he said his roommate woke up right after that. Like, right after I left, he said his roommate woke up, and I was like, holy crap. I'm like, if he's heard anything for real, like, that first time, he didn't say nothing. So, like, I didn't hear it going around or anything. So, then after that, let's see. This dude who lives at my cousin's house, like, there, you know, he pays rent, he rents a room, because it's just him by himself. He's from, you know, the East Coast, but he's here by himself. Well, technically it's the South, but Southeast Coast. He rents a room for my cousin, because, like I said, he's out here by himself. So, and they kind of recruited him to come over here to do the same job for, you know, more money. But anyway, you know how it is. So, you know, he's older, you know, he's in his, like, 30s. I think it's, like, you know, early mid 30s, around there, not too much older. Well, that's a lot older than my 23, for me. So, you know, he was all like, you know, we were, you know, friends, like, acquaintances, because, you know, through my cousin and all that. And then, you know, he's like, told my mom was going up there for for other stuff, and he told my mom that, you know, he was, you know, feeling me. And then my mom was like, oh, well, you know, she told me, but she told him that she would tell me, and so, like 10 minutes after she called me and was telling me that, why he gonna call me and tell me that? I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't, like, you know, jumping on the bandwagon, but I wasn't dissing it either. So I was like, all right, let's see what this dude got or whatever. I was, you know, iffy because he was way older, and then I was also iffy because he got kids. That's, like, two things that I'm like, maybe I could do it if you're older, but, like, you got kids and all that, like, you need to focus on them instead of trying to start no relationship with me. That's just personal feelings. I mean, if you with a man in a relationship with kids, kudos to you, you could do it. I just, especially at the beginning of the relationship, I kind of want to feel like all the attention's on me. Mind you, I have never had an adult relationship as of yet. So that could just be, you know, my kind of childish naiveness of that part of it. But, you know, like, whatever. I'm 23. I still got some time. We start talking a little bit more. Like, we already, like, had, like, because I told you we were acquaintances, almost friends before. So we started talking a little bit more, and, he liked to FaceTime. I don't know why everybody want to FaceTime me. Anyway, people be trying to FaceTime me. Like, instead of texting me or calling me, they FaceTime me. I'm like, whatever. The few people who I do, I don't talk to a lot of people. So, he FaceTimed me a couple times and yada yada. But, he had anger issues, I would guess. He bitched about a lot of stuff. I'm not calling him a bitch. I'm saying he bitched about a lot of stuff. Like, the one that, like, there are, like, a lot of instances where, like, I said something or did something to offend him, and he didn't talk to me because of it, like, just period, point blank. And the thing is like, at the time that this started going down, I was, there's, like, different parts of the team within the team. So there's, like, the like, elite, or, like, the fastest people, like, kind of like the elite type thing. And so there was 5 of those people, and I was starting to become part of that. But, him getting mad at me, he don't want to, like, he was in charge of it, like, so to speak, and he was in charge of the flow of it. So I'm like, okay, where are we going? Blah, blah, blah. Like, at the beginning, you don't know. So he's all, like, trying to ignore me. I'm like, dude, my attitude was like, dude, I don't care if you're mad at me, whatever. You cannot talk to me on any other thing. But when it comes to work, you need to talk to me about this work, because I'm about to get my paper. Like, I don't care how you feeling, I'm going to get paid. So, like, it just kept on going like that. And one instance is that really, like, kind of headed it was, while we were in the aisle one day, he said something. I was like, oh, you, like, jerk or asshole, something like that. And he got mad about it or whatever. So he didn't dwell on it that day, but the next day he was like mad, ignoring me, and, like, just being hella rude about it. And he said something rude, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, what is your problem? And he's like, you called me an asshole. Yes. I'm like, dude, like, for real? Like, that's why you're, like, acting like this? Like, and then that day I was like, I want to be like, you bitch. Excuse my language, but, like, I really wanted to be like, you bitch. Like, what the fuck? And, like, it was so bad. Like, my cousin came over, she was in charge, and she was like, what's the issue? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, go do this, and don't, like, we're just, like, kind of treated like elementary school students. So I was like, whatever. After that, and a couple other things, a couple other tantrums, I was just like, dude, I'll be friend. We could be friends, but I'm not gonna try and date you. And in the midst of all that, I did have my first, like, full-on hookup. It was with one guy. It was 3 different times, and it sucked. Like, it sucked really bad. That person, we will be friends, but I ain't hooking up with you ever again in life. Yeah, it happened 3 separate occasions. I gave him 3 strikes, and he was out. It was really bad. So bad that I block it from my memory. Like, I just block it. I remember that we did it, but I don't remember any of the details. It helped that, I was drinking before, but I try not to remember any of the details, because it just sucked. It was, like, so plain and boring, and it was, like, not a very good performance. So, and I did lose my virginity to that guy. But like I said, it kind of sucked. Even for a virgin, I knew it sucked. And it wasn't sucking because I was a virgin. Like, I tried it 2 more times, like, without being a virgin, and, being used to, having something up there, but it still sucked. So, yeah. And then the next and last thing that I ever had going on, this one dude, he was working with us for a while before, we started talking, so in January, we do, the RGIS Home Depot teams do Hobby Lobbies and Toys R Us. Well, I don't know if they're going to do Toys R Us anymore, but while I was there, did Hobby Lobbies and Toys R Us during the January break, because Home Depots didn't have inventory in January. Excuse me, I burped. So we have training before that, for, the newer people, because it's a faster pace and it's a lot of keying. So we 10 keyed and stuff like that. So it's a lot of keying, and the slower, less trained people, you want to have them practice do that, because you have to type in the barcode, not the full barcode, but like there's a certain barcode you have to type in, and a certain ticket number, like you type everything in. So we had to train them to do that, and I helped out doing that. And this one dude, I started, we clicked, not like that at the beginning, but we were like, oh dude, like you hella cool. So during that time in the Toys R Us and Hobby Lobbies, we started, like talking and stuff. Well, not really Toys R Us, because Toys R Us was split a lot. But for the Hobby Lobbies, at the very least, because everybody was in the store, we was chopping it up and stuff. And and then, like, when Home Depot's rolled back around, we were hanging out, like, and his roommate, a lot of the times, was, the dude that pretty much became my best friend, almost, sort of, like, complicated. So he could be a best friend, or he is a best friend, one of the two. It depends on your perspective of it. He either is almost a best friend or is a best friend, pertaining to your perspective. So then we had a mutual friend, and so I was chopping, and I was hanging out with them and stuff like that. And so then so that's February, March. Yeah. So then, but February we started hanging out, and then March, that mutual friend that we had, he was moving because of school. So I he moved in the middle of March. So by like the end of March, I was just hanging out with old dude and his new roommate. And then April, I was hanging out with them the whole time, and so in May. So then I quit and moved to the current job that I have now. And then I hadn't seen him for June or July. Then I think it was at the end of August, a mutual friend of ours that was from RGIS was having a birthday party, in Victorville. So I went up there. I was like, okay, I got to spend the night, because, I'm not going to be driving back and forth between Victorville and Newport Beach in one day. That's too much on my car and too much on me, and that's gonna be ridiculous. And you smoking and drinking and whoop-de-whoop. People are smoking and drinking and whoop-de-whoop. Anyway, y'all know what people do at parties. Anyway, I showed up a little bit early, just a little bit, and walk in, be like, hey, what's up, ha ha ha, tay. So the dude and I are the same sign. We're Pisces. We're very similar. I think that's why we click so well. But the other thing that's bad about Pisces is that we get really shy. So both of us are tiptoeing around each other, even though we want the same goal. I know I'm pointing at here. So we're like tiptoeing around each other, even though we're like want the same thing. Even if I'm not sure where it lands, because he has his own things. Like, we haven't talked about it that much, but like from my perspective, we were at least gonna be like, hey, I see you, let's whoop-de-whoop. Like, we gonna meet up, hook up every now and again, like at the very least. So that's what I thought was gonna happen, but in the end it kind of died. And I'll explain this a little bit better in the next video. I'll explain that and move on to a different topic. Y'all find out for that video. So like I said, I'm in my car. Even though it's not very sunny outside, as you can see, it's actually overcast. But mind you, I live in Newport Beach, so that happens every now and again. But it is still kind of warm, so I'm hot up in this mother. I'm starting to perspire a little bit. I glisten though. So I'm starting to perspire a little bit, especially around my T-zone. That's where I get it the most. Anyway, I would love for you guys to, like and subscribe this video, hit the, the little bell, so when I'm coming out. So also, besides, liking and subscribing, you guys notice that I'm trying to post a video a day. So, keep on the lookout. I'm going to keep on doing it. But I am going to make a little segment for a day for special videos, like an actual planned out, video, vlog, blog, whatever you want to call it. So I was probably gonna be Thursday or Friday, however it lands, or maybe Saturday, however it lands this week. At the end of the week, it's going to be the same, you know, for the rest of the time. So it's gonna be, you know, a special video. So look forward to those. And again, please, you know, like, subscribe, comment, you know, ring the bells for notifications, and yada yada yada. Deuces.